thank you so much for taking the time to tune into another episode of Terrific Tips. And I have the fabulous Patricia Rogers with us today. For those of you that don't know Miss Patricia Rogers, I need to introduce you. As you can tell, she's a visibility strategist. Take a look at her background. Okay, so you already know just by that title why she's fabulous and why she's here today. Our business community needs people who help us become seen and heard, where people can connect with people, because people need people. And that's Patricia's line. People need people. So Patricia is a retired corrections lieutenant. She's completed 29 years in law enforcement from Miami-Dade County down there in Florida. And she has trained thousands of employees to excel in their careers. She also completed 12 years in the U.S. Army Reserves and is a graduate from St. Thomas University. St. Thomas, oh my, that sounds like a wonderful time. Yeah. In 2016, Pat invested in herself by receiving the coaching and guidance needed to become a successful entrepreneur and public speaker. So this just goes to show you that it doesn't matter what you did before. It doesn't even matter what you're doing right now. You can change if you want to. All you have to do is make the decision and make the investment, and you can totally reinvent yourself. She went from being in the military and being in law enforcement to being a public speaker and an entrepreneur. Amazing, amazing transformation. She discovered her gifts, her talents, and her hobbies and turned them into the business that she loves today and loves to share with other people. She's positioned herself as the visibility strategist. She's an international public speaker, an international best-selling author. She's a coordinator, a virtual event consultant, a legal service provider, and a coach. Woo-wee, she loves to stay busy, and this is why I love her. She's got the great energy to stay busy, and not just stay busy, but provide amazing value for people. You probably already know why she's on the show, because I only love to bring amazing people onto this show. She knows that people need people, and Pat sets a platform for entrepreneurs to be seen and heard in front of the masses. And she does this in a couple of different ways, and I'm actually going to have her tell you about them because I want to give her a chance to talk. So thanks for joining us today, Miss Pat.
Well, hello, Terry. How are you? How are you? Thank you so much for having me on your platform finally.
Yes.
This is certainly an honor. I know we've been in Women's Prosperity Network organization for some years now. And and it's so many women, wonderful people there that it does take time to connect. So kudos to both you and I for connecting and finally making this connection. Awesome.
Absolutely. And I've only been part of the network since March. So I've just been trying to, if I can connect with just one of these amazing women on a weekly basis, then I know it's going to take me a long time to get to everybody, but I think a deep connection is better than no connection. So that's what it's all about. So thank you. Thank you for being here. I have to ask, what about the visibility and the coaching and the speaking? Why that? From being in the military and having that like rigid law background, to go from that to the visibility stuff is like mind-boggling. Why that?
Okay, I'm glad you asked that question because that has not always been. And now, first of all, I would never have known you only have been in WPN for months, because obviously when you came in running on both feet, ready, because every time I hear you share, you sound like you've been around for years. So that means that you came looking for something, and you're certainly reaching for the sky. And I want to say that's commendable. And that's definitely something I would tell or inspire our listening audience is to, when we go in to do anything, when you talked about change earlier, we have to go in with intention. We have to go in on purpose, with a purpose. Because when we look for whenever we seek what we're looking for, we will definitely find it. And that's a bonus. That's a bonus. Amen. But as far as the visibility strategist goes, I call myself the business development strategist because I assist entrepreneurs on how to discover their gift, talents, and hobbies and turn them into a business, which is what I had to do. So I'm definitely an expert in my own, in my own niche. I had to do it. And the visibility strategist came about when COVID-19 came and disrupted all of our lives. And I was doing live events where public speakers, I always believe in bringing people together. I did that in my career of 29 years in law enforcement. I did that in church all of my life, growing up in church. I just love bringing people together. I had events at my home, all those things. So I didn't realize, though, that it was a passion. It was just something I enjoyed doing. For whatever occasion, I find a reason to bring people together. And as I was coming up on my retirement, I decided I knew I had to find another location because I was going to be retiring and I wasn't going back to work for anyone because I am a leader. And I wanted to know what I had to offer. And that's what WPN taught me in the public speaking training, is that I marketed Legal Shield. That was my pitch. But then they informed me that your name is Pat Rogers and you have to discover your own gifts and talents so that you can brand them. And instead of making a piece of the pie from Legal Shield on commissions, now I get the whole pie. How about that?
Amen.
Yes. So visibility strategies came about when COVID came into our life. And I could no longer host live events at hotels, people flying in from all over to come in. And I had to pivot to online. And I was very shaken by that because I had a big event that was lined up for May of 2020 this year. And I eventually, being a part of WPN, I got the boost that I needed. I got the support that I needed from the sisters, from the leaders, Nancy Matthews, Trish Card. And the final word to everybody was, the only thing we have to do now is just pivot. Do not lose sight of your vision. But when I pivoted, I had to go inside of myself and pull out some more of my gifts and talents, because now I'm going online and I had to learn how to do that. And the way I chose to start doing it was by doing some training on some things that people would always tell me they like about me. And I'm big on social media. I love social media, have a passion for it. And people would always tell me, how do you do those videos? So that in and of itself let me know the first thing I'm going to do is a video training. So I had to learn how to do that online. And I sold 101 tickets for that event. And we had an awesome time. I showed individuals how to use their cell phones as a branding tool. And if that makes sense to you, that's where the visibility strategist came into play. I show you how to show up on social media, and I show you how to make an impact when you show up, because how we look to others makes a difference in how we attract them. Absolutely. And one of the sisters in WPN, she sent me a message. She said, I got a download. She said, I think that you should change your name to Visibility Strategist. And that was Lee Carr. I give her credit. I give her kudos because I fell in love with that name. And it was so descriptive of who I am today and what I have to offer those who I serve. Nice. So that's how Visibility Strategist came about.
I love it. That's a wonderful origin story. And we all now know Pat is where the party is. So if you want a party, you just got to find Pat because she's got one happening. She loves pulling people together.
Absolutely. Yes. That is good that you said that, because that's definitely something I want the listening audience to understand, is that when we don't have things happening in our lives, rather than sitting on the sidelines watching other people continue to move forward, because they will, and we feel left behind, what we have to do is we have to create our own excitement.
That's right.
So that means that if we have gifts inside of us, we can't wait for the other person to bring us along. We have to find where we fit in, take a stab at it. If you never did it before, just do it. The best way to overcome fear, way to overcome fear is 2 words, 3 words. Just do it. Just do it. And when you do it, you'll find out that it wasn't as bad as you thought it was going to be, and people will show up. Everybody, there's enough people in this world for everybody. And trust me, people are waiting on you to serve them.
So true. Such a great message. Thank you. Thank you for reinforcing that, because we get paralyzed by fear. We get paralyzed by analysis paralysis and indecision. And at the end of the day, we hide, we withhold our gifts and our abilities from the people who need it the most. So Pat, for these people who are maybe on the fence to owning their own business, or maybe they already own their own business, our listening audience here, what is one tip that you maybe have for them that can help them to start showing up as their best self in social media or in Zoom meetings?
Well, one tip is to, first of all, like I said, I can't stress it enough. I know one of our limited belief what holds us back is comparing ourselves with other people. Do not compare yourself with other people, because even when it looks like they're just booming and they're this, it's not always what it appears to be. And then even if they are, you don't know what they did to get to where they are. So I strongly recommend to those I serve, anybody, that when you see somebody moving in a direction that you would desire to move, you got to pick up the phone. You have to reach out, whether it's via Messenger, whether it's via Facebook, whether it's via Instagram, whatever. You are responsible for reaching out. And I say, reach out to that individual. And as opposed to being competitive and wishing you were where they were or admiring what they do, make a connection with that individual.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that concept of make a connection.
Make a connection. Swallow your pride. Get over the little butterflies, because all these things are going to come. Anytime we do something new, those are called emotions. That's supposed to happen. If we don't have emotions, guess what, Terry? We dead. We dead. I am not dead.
But and I like that.
Exactly what I did when I joined Women Prosperity Network. The first event I went to that Allison Rollins invited me to, I went to that event, and I think it was a Level Up. And I went to that event in 2015, still working for corporate America, had no clue, but I knew deep down inside of me I was looking for something, because I knew I had to discover what the entrepreneurs are doing. So in order to find out what other people are doing, you have to go where they are.
That's right.
You have to connect with them. And I got to that event, and when I was in that event, I heard Trish Carr was in the front talking, and later on, I saw Nancy just standing at the back of the room. And I had been enjoying everything we had been doing, the little interactions and whatever Trish had us doing. But when I saw Nancy in that back of the room, for some reason, it was something inside of me that connected with that spirit in her that let me know, if you're going to go far, if you're going to move from where you are, and you're leaving corporate America, and you want to know what this entrepreneur arena is about, you got to get with those who have what you want. And I was in the right place, enjoying everything. But when I saw Nancy, it was something about that lady. And I was nervous. I was scared. I love my camera. I love my videos. I love pictures. But something inside of me, I wanted to take a picture with Nancy. And I was so nervous and scared and shaking. But honey, I got myself out of that chair, went back there, and I said, hi. And I talked to her. I introduced myself, and I asked her, do you mind taking a picture with me? Nancy did not just take one picture with me. She took several. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you got that message. Because in that right there, if you do not take action and get beyond those negative emotions, you're going to miss the mark. And from 2015 to this day, she's still my coach. Yeah. That's my story. I'm sticking to it.
But there was a couple of key things that you said in there. First of all, you identified in somebody else a success that you desired. You identified something that they were doing that you loved and wanted to embody yourself. And instead of saying, ooh, they're a competitor, they're in my space, you said, what can I learn here? How can I support them?
That's right.
What can I bring to their table?
Absolutely.
They're gonna fill me up. They're gonna work to fill me up. How can I fill them up? How can I make them feel seen and supported? And because there is enough business to go around. So that was one. It's that power of collaboration, right? The other thing that you said was you took action.
Yeah, I gotta take action.
You did not sit around and wait. You were like, look, I know I'm going to be retiring. Time is of the essence. I need to figure some shit out and get moving because I only have so much time.
That's right.
And you did it. You beat feet. You put some fire underneath those feet and you moved them.
Absolutely. And I became a lifetime member that day. And what you just said was valuable to our listening audience, Terry. You said something about what can we give back to those who have what we want? And that's very valuable because it's a give and take situation. And we have to make the investment in ourselves. We're not, we have to invest in ourselves. And when we invest in ourselves, we're giving to other people who are there waiting to serve us. And when we invest in ourselves, we also value what we have invested, what the financial part of it that goes into it. We value it a lot more than just getting a handout.
That's right. We're going to show up.
That's huge what you just said. We have to give back. And from that day, I became a lifetime member, and I've been a member ever since. And I'm not going anywhere because I give them credit for assisting me and teaching me and so many other women all over the world how to be an entrepreneur, a successful entrepreneur. And that I have done very well online. I've hosted 10 online events since I transitioned to online from COVID. I had to refund $14,000 because I had collected money from all of the participants, speakers, entrepreneurs, as well as the vendors. They pay to be a part of our event because we're going to give them exposure that everybody needs. We do promotions, we put them out there. And that, therefore, all they have to do is secure their seats. And all of my participants, I had to refund $14,000 in March because of COVID. And I had to cancel that event, and I was distraught. That was a part of it. But being a part, I finally got up on my feet. I made the transition, thankfully. And today, I have hosted 10 online events. Two of those events I'm managing for other entrepreneurs because I teach entrepreneurs how to host their own online events. And that was another bonus that came out of the 8 events that I hosted. I also do one-on-one training. I show individuals how to build their business, starting with the foundation, the small things that makes the big things count, such as email grouping and building that email list, such as how to do the videos with the cell phones. I've taken everything that COVID made me dig down inside of me and dig up. I've taken it now and I've created coaching packages, and I'm coaching individuals now how to be successful entrepreneurs. And it's just been a journey. And I'm telling you, with all the streams of income that I have, Legal Shield, coaching, my books that I'm a part of, co-authors in, as well as all of the things that I'm doing, I've exceeded the 14,000 that I gave back. So ladies and gentlemen, when you think it's a loss, it's never a loss, especially when it was never really yours in the first place, because I never had the event. But guess what? We let those things stop us and they discourage us and say, you know what? I'm not doing nothing no more. No. I get up, I suit up, and I show up, and I ask God, faith, what is my next move? And he gives me the resources such as yourself, because this is a resource.
That's right.
This is a resource.
That's right.
And
that is super duper beautiful and really important, because it's a really easy, just like you said, to get discouraged, to get unmotivated, to get self-doubt, to get just flat out right. Like you just don't think you could do it because this door closed. And you had said, but this one opened.
This one opened. Yeah.
And I took the time to sit here and say, yeah, that one closed. That sucks. That was painful. That was expensive. What now? And then there it was. And you were like, oh, I'll just walk through this door.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Challenges such as COVID-19 open doors of opportunity. And when we can do just what you just said, when we can change our mindset, it's all in the mindset. It's mind over matter.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you what they used to tell me. If you don't mind, if it doesn't matter. And I don't mind making a shift. Yeah. Because I know that everything is going to fall in line, because that's by divine purpose. And when we all realize that we were created for a purpose, and that purpose is already written, it's already intended, but we hold ourselves back. But all we have to do is just take that leap and connect with the people who you're watching. And, and it goes back, that takes me to social media. We have to show up on social media. Just checking a like is not enough. If I see you on social media and I'm loving your podcast, I'm loving what you do, I need to shoot you. I need to be able to shoot you a little something in the messenger. Hi, Terry, how you doing? I was watching your podcast today. How long have you been an entrepreneur? And I can guarantee you that starts a conversation. But those limited beliefs will stop us from doing that one very small thing that will take us from zero to being that hero we need to be.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are in the Church of Pat tonight. I'm so glad that you've taken the time to tune in. You are a wealth of knowledge, my friend. This is beautiful. I love it. So, Pat, there's so much that you've done. There's so much that you're sharing. What's a challenge that you've really had to face in your time as an entrepreneur? And what was that challenge and how did you face it?
I'll tell you, one of my challenges, I've had several, but one of my challenges, I'm gonna be honest with you, it's so many, I'm just gonna pick one, I don't know. But one of my challenges was leaving corporate America. One of my challenges was realizing that an entrepreneur gets to charge what they want to charge for their services. So when I first used to go to Bill Walsh's events when I was working corporate America, and I would go to his free events because he was another one of my mentors that I've been, he's invested his time in me and so forth. And I've invested in him, and I'm a big part of Power Team USA. But what I learned, I used to go to that because my mindset wasn't in the entrepreneur arena, the employee, I still had the employee. Bill Walsh used to do these speakings, and he used to say that his speaking programs was like $15,000 to $20,000. I'm like, I'm not paying that. What? It did not make sense to me. So I had to change my mindset. And as I began to grow, like I said, in getting coaches, that's the whole point. At that time, I did not have a coach. I was just going to events. So one of my downfalls was for taking as long as I did to make the transition, even though and be on my way, was because I didn't have a coach. I was going to these events, but I didn't have a coach. Even with WPN, I was going to the events, but I had not invested in the coaching program. That was one of my downfalls. Because I could have been a lot sooner where I was. But again, when you don't know what you don't know, but I was determined I wasn't going to pay all these high ticket prices, because remember, I came from corporate America. And everything was free. Training was free. I travel, they pay for it. We go out to lunch when we're out on business, they pay for everything. So I had to change my mindset. Ladies and gentlemen, you have to change your mindset. You are your biggest investment. And when I got it, I got it.
That's right.
And guess what? Today, I get to put the price tag on the tickets. How about that? And absolutely.
That's
and
right.
When I was reading Napoleon Hill too, that was another thing that helped me. Nancy them, Bill Walsh, Trish Carr, all of them choosing. But another thing I started reading, Think and Grow Rich. And it was it's one line in there that lives with me forever. It's a lot of good stuff, but this one line, it's like a light bulb went on. And it said, one sound idea is all one need to achieve success.
Ooh. One sound idea is all one needs to achieve success.
That's
so
it.
If you have a brain in your head and you have an idea in that brain, then there's no damn good reason why you are not successful. Except the noise between your own ears.
The noise between your own ears. Absolutely. Well said. Well said. And that's absolutely right. So that was one of my challenges, was changing my mindset. And that's what I do for my clients today. I change their mindset.
Yes.
And how do I change their mindset? I am their biggest example.
Okay.
So I tell them, you follow me as I follow God. Because he gives us the resources. He does not give us a vision without the provisions.
Ooh.
And
he doesn't give us the vision without the provisions.
It's already written. It's there. It's waiting on us. The people are waiting on us. And when we can grasp that and into our brain, it will eliminate, it will smash all of those limited doubts, like you said earlier, fears or whatever else that comes up that wants to tell you, not yet, not yet. Well, you keep on saying not yet, not yet, not yet, because guess what? I did 29 years with corporate America. I'm running for my life now because I may not have another 29 years to be a successful entrepreneur. And that is my desire. And whatever I want in this life, whatever you want, it's waiting on us. But my goals, our goals, could care less about how we feel. So get over it. Get over it.
Get over it. I love it.
Get over it.
That's and you gave a really good book to read. I love Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. That's a great book. There are several amazing authors. We can learn from the failures and the successes of others. Success leaves clues, as Tony Robbins said. So look at the people who are more successful, find them, and emulate what they're doing. Pat, this is a great time for me to ask, because I know my listening audience is like, yes, I am in the Church of Pat. I want to know more. How do they get in touch with you, Miss Pat?
Awesome. As my virtual background behind me, which is my branding tool. Yes. So when I'm on the coaching, on a platform of anybody's event, they have everything they need in front of me, ladies and gentlemen. This is my branding tool. It's your branding tool. And you can reach me at 786-515-5015. I am an open book, and I am definitely not ashamed for my number to be out there, as well as my email is info@patriciarogers.com. And you can also reach me at patrogers360.com. That will take you to all of my social media sites at one time, including my website, as well as my phone number and my text, patrogers360.com as well.
Fantastic, Pat. Thank you. So we talked about a challenge that you've had to overcome, and we've talked about some ways that you help entrepreneurs overcome some of those challenges. Is there a habit or that helps you with your mindset that you'd be willing to share? How do you keep a positive mindset?
How do I keep a positive mindset? Is, first of all, I know who I am. So when I learned to love myself years ago, and I really learned the value that I had, then of course, I knew that in order for me to be effective and be the entrepreneur, as good of an entrepreneur as I was an employee, how about that? I had to remain consistent, and I had to stay connected to the right resources. Mm-hmm. That's how I maintain my positive. If I'm not around people, because you said it earlier, the worst place to be is between these two ears. Yes. But when I'm around you and you're on that platform and you're talking about your accomplishments, and I may not have an answer when the first question come along, well, you all, let's share our challenge. Let's share our celebrations. I may not be thinking at that moment but when Terry speaks, Terry reminds me, because Terry just inspired me. You remember you did that the other day? You did that. Oh, okay. But if I had not come, I would have taken what I do lightly for my business. And that's another way I stay successful. There is not one day that goes by that I don't do something in my business, and that's called passion.
Yes.
That's called passion.
Yes.
So if you love what you do, you're going to spend time with it, because when you give time to anything, it's going to give back to you what you put in.
That's right.
And I hope that makes sense.
It does. No, it does. So being connected to other people and being consistent.
Absolutely.
So here's the really cool thing about that is people need people. We need people. It's part of the human experience. We've talked about this a little bit today. It's come up a lot. It must be in the energy today. And we need to be consistent. Just like with anything in life, right? You're not going to lose weight by having a donut tomorrow or a piece of pie the next week. Like, that's a surefire way to not lose any weight. You have to be consistent with your diet. You have to be consistent with your exercise. If you're trying to grow a business, you have to be consistent with showing up in different places, networking with different people, showing up in social media, sending emails, making phone calls. Because if you're not being consistent, people forget.
That's right.
People forget.
You're absolutely right, Terry. You got to keep it in front of them.
Yes. So
and we have so many platforms that we can do that. Whether it's a messenger, whether it's Instagram, whether it's Facebook, we don't have to be on all of those platforms, But I will say this, I do keep my head in the crowd.
You keep your head in the crowd.
Absolutely.
Not in the cloud.
I keep my face in the crowd.
And not in the cloud, in the
Nope,
crowd.
in the crowd. Because everybody's on social media.
Yeah.
And it goes back to what I said before, visibility. If you're not, it says it right there, if you're not there, no one sees you.
That's right.
So you have to show up. And this is what I teach my clients. We have to get over the fears and we have to show up, because when we show up, we're making an impact. Not only that, if I post, I'm going in. If I post me today, and this is for the listening audience, if I post me today in a photo and I'm at the beach, I'm going to get 1,000 hits, 500 to 1,000 hits. Not all at once, but they come in. In other words, that information is going out, and people are seeing it. I may get 500 to 1,000 hits, but I might post something about coaching, and I may get 25, 30 comments. But guess what? Tip for the day, ladies and gentlemen. If those people saw me in that bikini on the beach and I had 1,000 hits, those same 1,000 people saw me when I posted about coaching. It's just that they didn't need coaching at the moment, or they wasn't ready to spend no money, whatever the reason is. My point is this: you have to keep posting no matter what and how it looks. Because just because somebody is not commenting does not mean your information is not getting out there. Absolutely.
They don't have to. Okay. There is an adverse thing going on right now where people, it's like liking things are in short supply. Have you noticed this? That people are afraid to like things, like they're going to run out of likes at the end of the day?
Yeah.
This is causing them to not necessarily engage with your content, but they are seeing your stuff.
I see it.
I'll give you an example. There's a gentleman that I talked to 3 years ago, maybe. Took him out to lunch, was pitching him to work with him for his business on his marketing stuff. Nothing ever came of it. Crickets. I had another friend of mine who I see on a regular basis for some of my healthcare stuff. He told me that this person had reached out to him, that he's thinking of working with me.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, okay. Then when I saw my friend again for my reflexology, he said, yeah, I had a conversation with him and he's really excited to talk with you. He's been doing his research.
Yeah,
he's looking into you. He's talking to people about the work that you do. He's reading the reviews that are out there. And I'm like, oh, like I had no idea this person was so engaged with my stuff, because I never hear from him. I call him once a year to check in on him, to see how things are going. I never hear back. I send him emails every month. He never opens them, but he sees them.
Absolutely. And this is why it's important to show up and be professional when we do, because you're right, Terry. People are always watching.
Always watching. Always watching. So the question then becomes, what message are you wanting to share? What message are you putting out there, on purpose or on accident?
Well, my message that I put out there is get up, suit up, and show up, because when we do that, things start to happen.
Yes.
But when we lay doormat, nothing happens in our comfort zone. Connect with those people you would like to be around that have what you want. It works. Trust me when I tell you. And let's get started and let's take that business to the next level. Follow your dream, your passion. Don't keep making excuses. What if? So what I want to put out to the world and what I believe, and I take it to my grave, is when I leave here, the legacy I want to everybody who knows me and sees me and have connected with me, or who have not yet connected with me but see me. I want everybody to know that when we are consistent and just keep showing up, the best is always yet to come. So I want them to see me as the lady in red, the powerhouse.
That's right.
That lady who's always on social media. I love her videos, whatever it is. I want them to remember that because I showed up, not just for me, but I showed up for others. I get everything and more of what I desire in this life.
Mm-hmm. I love that you included that you show up for others. Because that's really the key, isn't it? Like, we can't support each other. We can't help each other. We can't grow ourselves without each other.
People
so we
need
have to
people.
show up for somebody else.
People need people. Do not be a giver. I'm sorry, do not be a taker. There are takers and there are givers out there. And there's been times when sometimes I know I post events all the time when I do my events or other people events. I post and I look at a thread when people want to befriend me. I look at their profile. I see if they're an entrepreneur in my own, then I go to the messenger before I accept their friendship and I introduce myself. Thank you so much for reaching out, connecting with me. And I ask him, what inspired you to connect with me? And I put a smiley face. Because my job is to make them respond to me, because everybody that's connecting with you is not doing and moving the same direction. So you have to, like you said, do your research. And that's what the gentleman did on you. He did his research.
He did. And they are. That's the thing. We have to remember that people are, especially now, because it's easier to do, they are doing that research. People are going to look into you. So be authentic, be honest, be transparent, because honestly, anything other than that isn't going to help you in the long run.
People need people. You got to stay connected. You got to give of yourself. Sometimes when I can't go to an event, I'll buy the ticket. It's called giving. It's called giving.
It's called supporting each other.
It's called supporting each other.
And the other thing too, Pat, that you mentioned is that you send a message to make a connection. It's not just about connecting. It's about having a conversation, y'all. So if we send you a message on LinkedIn or on Facebook or any of the other platforms and you don't respond back.
Yeah, that's
powerful. You're not getting in that network, honey.
I'm glad you said that.
So what do you do when that happens? What do? You send them a message and how long do you wait if they don't respond?
Well, I don't really necessarily, they normally answer right away. But normally they answer right away. And that's what my goal is, to make them respond. Because if they're really there for a purpose, and then I ask them, well, are you an entrepreneur? Because I need to do my research, because we can only do 5,000 people on Facebook. So you know what? When you I got to stop critiquing. And that's something I didn't do when I first started using Facebook, because I wasn't in the entrepreneur arena. Now I'm very strategic about who I connect with. Because when I host my events, I want to host with people who see the value in coming to hear Terry speak, who see the value in coming to, hear the other presenters, or, hear what the entrepreneur, what the sponsored vendors have to market. And then them too, I want them to be ready to connect, come see the value in connecting with other entrepreneurs who are moving in the same direction. So I have to critique that. And there are times that I may get someone who will come to me in the messenger, and they'll put a book in my face, and they tell me they have a book for sale. Will you do me a favor, whatever? And what I do, Terry, is I look at that thread, because normally they're connected to me, and I look at that thread in the messenger, because you can't post, so they talk to me in the messenger. I look at the thread, and if I see where I invited them to 3 or 4 events and they never said anything, it's not a good day for them then. Because I said, listen, I have invited you to 3 events, and I call off the dates, because the dates are right up there. And I call out that date, that date, that date. I said, and you never responded. You rolled all over my stuff. And now you want me to invest in you? I say, people need people.
That's right. We need to support each other if we want to be supported.
And in most cases, whenever it happens, I get an apology.
Yeah, that you do.
And that's what I want them to understand. I don't mind giving, but come on, it's a 2-way street.
It is. You're not
you
asking
need me,
for much.
And I tell them, you need me just like I need you. And I'll buy that book because I got my message across. Because I also know that they will be getting another invitation because I host online events
Regularly.
So, it just depends on how we handle it. But the bottom line is we as people have to understand it's not just about you, it's about everybody. Everybody is important.
That's right.
And when
no
we
one
realize
person
that,
is more important than another.
Absolutely.
We're all on the same page. We're all equally important in the grand scheme of this place that we call life.
That's right. That's
yes.
Right. Absolutely.
All right, Miss Pat, I've got another question for you. What is one thing you wish you knew when you started your business?
You really want to know the answer to that, girl?
I really want to know. Yeah.
Oh my God. You want to know that? I don't think you're going to like my answer. It may not be a good tip for the audience.
It'll be
my answer to that, honey, I'm going to tell you what my answer is. If I knew that it was going to be this much fun and this easy to get paid for what I know, oh my God, I probably would have quit working for corporate America and started my entrepreneur journey. But when you don't know what you don't know, you just don't know. Yeah. But I'm having a ball in my life, discovering me, learning who I am. And the best part about it is somebody actually wants to be graced and blessed with the gifts and talents that God has instilled in me. That's a bonus all by itself. Don't make me start crying on this platform, girl. Because people are my heartstring, and none of us, like you said, can make it without each other. Even when you invited me, I gave you 2 names of other people to interview who were my clients, and you in turn said, okay, that's fine, but can I interview you too? I'm like, oh, okay, sure. But I wasn't trying to be selfish, man. Thank you. So that makes my day because you wanted me to be on your platform. I'm
so glad to have you because this has been absolutely phenomenal. I hope the listening audience has enjoyed this as much as I have. If you have, please comment, like, subscribe, share this with your friends. Let us know that this material has served you today so that we can continue to support each other and continue to grow together, because together we are stronger. Together we are better. Together we can do anything. And it takes a village. It takes a village to raise a child. It takes a village to grow a business. It takes a village to let every single person know that they are worth something. And so if this has served you today, please like, subscribe, share, comment, let us know that we're on the right path, because this platform is for all of you. This is for all of you. So thank you, Ms. Pat, for being here. I so appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me, Terry. And I'm just so glad we broke the ice, and I love you. You're beautiful inside and out. And it's just been an honor to get to know you. Thank you so much.
Likewise, my dear friend. Listening audience, until next time.